again, whether you're listening to us on the radio, whether you're listening to us on the podcasting sites, we do hope that you continue listening. We on the whatever it is, the radio or the podcasting sites, and we do hope that you will subscribe, like, and share to this show. I want to go into this again for people listening. This is James Flaherty, and I still Flaherty. I'm
Yeah,
trying to say
Flaherty.
it.
Flaherty.
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 I'm
James.
trying to say it the
That
Irish way, James, and
you
I
can find
struggle.
me on the web. It's just my name, James B. Which a lot of people have a lot of names for that B. It really stands for Bernard, but jamesbflaherty.com, and that
James
tells you everything about me.
JamesBFlaherty.com. It's
Yeah,
FLAHERTY.com. James, I want to talk about this because again, you've really done a lot in your life. And I know we've went all over the place.
yeah,
Even before we started
it's
the
fun.
interview, we went all over the place. But this is what we do. We don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the line. We kind of, do in and out as far as
It's great,
talks.
great.
So let's talk about this. So again, 89 years old, you look great, you're sharp as a tat. What do you credit, your longevity in life to? I know you kind of talked to us off the air about, your mom saying that, look into the mirror. You say you don't really get excited much by anything, but there's so many divisive things in our country, whether it's online, whether it's in politics, even some people get divisive on sports. How do you let all that not get to you and be, calm, cool, and collected?
Again, it goes back to something I said earlier, maybe not on, I can't remember now, Rob, whether I said it online or offline.
Sure.
You know, there's a line I used in a book once or twice that I liked very much. I say to people, remember, the band won't stop playing until you stop dancing. I
Yeah.
mean, life is what you make of it. And the idea that I may have an off day. Certainly you have off days as a writer where you think I couldn't write an interesting suicide note. I'm just deadhead. But basically, I want to know that every day I've accomplished something. And one way I do that is every evening I make a list of 6 or 7 things that I really want to do the next day. And I leave it, if I'm traveling, I put it on the bathroom sink where I know I have to see it in the morning if in the hotel. And if I'm at home, I put it on the computer keyboard so that I come back in the morning and hit it first thing in the morning and try to get those knocked off. And then no matter what happens, I can say, it wasn't a bad day. I got those things taken care of. I still have to work on rewriting that chapter or writing those letters or whatever it is. But I guess it's in having something to do. I know. I can give you a great story, I think. It's one I like very much. I don't know your younger crowd. I know you have a good younger crowd listening to you, which is great. Uh, Kids, there was an incredible comedian in America named George Burns. He and his wife, George Burns and Gracie Allen, were world famous. And George was hysterically funny on his own. He was just a very funny man. And on his 95th birthday, a reporter asked him, Mr. Burns, do you ever worry about dying? And he said, I can't die now. I'm booked. Well, I'm the same way. This might look ridiculous to you. This is my schedule. And this is every line is a day. And that's my schedule. And I
Wow.
and I live up to it. And I
Oh, your
change the
book
schedule
solid.
about 3 times a week to bring it up. You can see some things are handwritten because I add things in, and so I change it to bring it up to date. And I live up to that schedule, which
Yeah.
includes includes, by the way, going to church every Sunday. I give Sunday morning, I give to going to church. I go to church early. I set up the pulpit for the minister. I I rehearse for the choir. I sing in the choir.
Wow.
And then after the service, we have another rehearsal with the choir. And I close down the church and do things. Fine. Life, I mean, what attributes a long life? I I'm having so much fun living. I People said, "Aren't you, Jim, don't you really, I mean, not that I worry about dying, but don't you ever think about the fact that you're 89, how long does this go on?" In God's name, Rob, I really don't go to bed thinking, "Huh, I wonder if I'll wake up on the right side of the grass tomorrow." I can't even foresee it. I've got so much to do besides the books. By the way, I've created a TV series, and I have a
Wow.
screenplay. And what I need is a good agent. If you were a good agent, or if you knew one, tell them, say, call the old fart and give him a hand.
You know,
No,
it is incredible though how much you've done. So, what made you wanted to start doing all this writing, as far as the 5 books, and also write this TV series
well, I
at
was always
such
a writer. That's how that's how I earned my living.
right? But did
Remember, I had a degree in communications that had, I mean, I don't remember learning anything in college. I think college was a good experience, but I have no idea what I learned. But I came to New York and I got a job writing, and I found, hey, this is kind of neat. Trying to solve a problem with words. And apparently I was good at it, and I looked at it, and I would go through magazines and say, why do I like or hate this advertisement? And
right?
teaching myself, what to do. And then as I came along, and I had major accounts in America, which was wonderful. And I really had a good time doing it. I don't know. Again, it gets back to, if you into an occupation that you really like, then you go back to my special line from Noel Coward: work is more fun than fun. Because then it's not work. It's like, great, I can get up and go to work. I never minded getting up early. I took the early train from Larchmont so that I could be in my office an hour to an hour and a half early. So I could then take a very decent train at night. I did not want to be late coming home because I didn't want to be an invisible father. I had young children. I wanted to be home and be part of their growing up experience. Um, I don't know, just I think it's liking what you do, and looking forward to tomorrow. I
Yeah.
I I wrote a line. I was talking to your our mutual friend Steve Harrison today, and I used the line. He said, "I love that line, Jim. What in the hell was it?" I said, "I I I don't I don't think about dying. I, I'm I'm much busy. I'm much busier thinking about doing."
Right.
I want to do, not die.
Yeah, and it seems like it's working because you're really being productive, especially in the last few years, writing all these books and the
Yeah.
TV series. I want to go into the TV series. So talk to the audience a little bit about that.
Okay. I wanted to. I was in watching TV. Oh, Let me first give you a terrible statistic, that one I really hate. Something like, I'll have some of the statistics wrong. 60% of all people over 65 watch TV 48 to 50 hours a week. Huh?
Wow.
Which is painful.
I I
I
I'm
like
lucky if
TV.
I watch it like 3 or 4 hours a
Yeah, I
week.
like TV. I like TV. I love to find a terrific series, or now and then a great film to watch. I mean, and certainly you have to watch the big news events of the world. You cannot avoid them. That's we haven't talked about that. You said how has the world changed? What has changed the world is the world, is the technology, is the uh, social media. People know too much too soon,
Yeah.
and they're exposed to too much too soon. Kids are not allowed to be kids anymore. They've got just too much thrown at them on social media. It would be, I was so grateful I was able to raise my my babies, my daughters who are now 62 and 64. I raised them without, where they didn't have a cell phone in their hand, because that would have made me absolutely. They said, we know it wouldn't have worked. You would have slapped it right out of our hands, because I wanted them looking at me when I was talking. you know, um, I'm sorry, I got off the subject. Where were we? Oh, you're talking about the TV series. So
Right.
I was watching the TV series. I thought one of the best TV series I'd ever seen, long for a long running one, was The West Wing by Aaron
Yes.
Sorkin. I thought, God, it's absolutely brilliant. And it had a headquarters, the Oval Office, but very rarely was the action in the Oval Office. It was about everybody connected with the West Wing, with the president and with all of the assistants and their lovers and their secretaries and their families. You know, I mean, it was an ongoing story of a whole community, and I thought that was neat. So I created a TV series. Um, Funny, people know things that people have never seen. They know what they look like. So I said the opening scene, a camera moves into a busy TV production studio, right? You know what that
Mhm.
looks like. We all know what it looks like. The cameras and the lights, and it moves through, and there's a very good looking, a Jane Fonda-ish, an 80-year-old but still
Right.
glamorous woman sitting at a dressing table. We know what a dressing room looks like. And the guy is doing her hair, and down the table, 3 mirrors down, is a really good looking 78-year-old bald guy, good looking there. And first words spoken, she's, Trevor, when you're through with my hair, would you paint some black on Robert's hair? And the glare off his head is blinding me on the set. And they make loving sarcasm back and forth, and they end up, there are four of them, two men, two women, walking out talking about who do they have to babysit. Oh, there's a news anchor coming, and a handsome black guy comes in to sit with them, a 50-year-old, and they sit down, and producer says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the one woman speaks up and says, welcome to another evening of a better viewpoint on what's happening in the real world. And the credits come on, the seniors, old enough to know better. And it's a news show, and everybody is 75 to 80, all the newscasters, right? And but the story isn't always about them. It's about
Right.
their wives, their husbands,
Right.
their kids, their people, the international travel, the people who replace them now and then, and one will die now and then.
So you've wrote like comedy episodes
I
about.
wrote it, yeah, but it's comedy drama. And what I liked about it is that
Yeah.
if if in that scenario there was a tsunami in Florida, really, if something horrible happened, you could write it into the script. You could
Hmm.
absolutely write it into the script. I mean, because it still had the format of a news show, you know. All right, so that's fun. So I wrote that, including the pilot script of it. So I have that done. I could work it out, do an outline for 10 years of it,
Right.
of what the segments would be. That would be great fun. And I've done a screenplay that with it's a black comedy, but it's good. It's fun.
Mhm.
Hard to write, because it's one of these where you're laughing like hell, and then 3 pages later you're crying. It's a
Yeah.
was
So let's kind of give a little synopsis, because I know we're coming to an end and we've talked about a lot of different things, and I know we just touched the surface of what your life is about. We need to dive a little deeper next time, but that's why there always will be a next time with you,
good.
Jim. So Jim, let's talk about this. Give us a little bit of a synopsis of all four, well, I should say for all five of the books that you've written, just so people can kind of know a little bit more about them. And then obviously within the next couple of conversations, we can dive deeper into those books.
Okay. The first two books that I wrote were fiction, pure
Right.
fiction of it. Romance, sex, international travel, Broadway, great fun. And they were both the one I started out with a male protagonist, and I guess he bored me. And I basically like women better than men anyway. I think they're more interesting creatures. So I changed it, and the role of a lifetime. I never thought about it when I was writing it, but then recently somebody asked me to condense it to one sentence, and I said, "The role of a lifetime is a contemporary My Fair Lady."
Mm.
It's not the girl, the little British girl selling flowers on the street corner. It's the Jewish girl from the Bronx who has to reinvent herself, and she reinvents herself and playing the role of a lifetime. And it's a wonderful story, and it's all major women characters. Claire is about another kind of woman, so a woman who has it all. She's beautiful. She's everything, and as I say in the below the picture says wife, mother, mistress, murder, and on the back it says she was to die for, and then someone did. So it has that kind of thing. Then we got into, as I hit 82, 83, I started seeing among too many friends retreating from life, and I started writing to them. So I wrote Dear Old Friends, and it was about living a healthier, happier life and trying to put it all together. And then I moved into Embrace Your Age, which just came out last year, um, which is an interesting book because every chapter asks a question, and it's questions much like, do you have any best friends? If you don't, why should I talk to you? Well, how are you going to handle it when they die? And it really asks real questions that people have to get into and answer as they get on with life. Living and loving longevity is much about the same thing, but what I'm saying to people is that because I know it's true because I've seen it. I know people that fit this picture that are in their 60s that are saying, God, and I never got over the fact that I never did that thing back when I was 45. And I say, so what's wrong with doing it now?
Right.
I mean, it's not over. You have another 20 years to do it.
Yeah.
Not 20 weeks. You've got maybe 20 years, especially you may have the 20 years if you are doing that because your body will pick up your whole immune system wakes up. Yes, I know we all have to face DNA and cancer runs in the family or heart disease runs in the family, in which case you have to go to the right clinic and find the right doctors and fight it. But basically, if you have a real goal, a real purpose, you go on living and you don't think about old. Do we have time to tell you a fascinating thing I heard in an interview the other day with a woman, Ellen Langer? She wrote a book, The Mindful Body. She's a psychologist. She said little children who have really with it grandparents who are out there kicking and dancing and doing and producing grow up their whole life not fearing aging. If their grandparents are the old traditional, shaky, feeble, wrinkled, fetal position, TV watching vegetables, from the time they're 45 or 50, they are worried to sick about growing old. Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting? That's
Right.
mindset. That's what this does to you. Okay.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I know we've been on for a while, so I don't want to drain everybody out in one session. But I do want you to end the conversation. And I know you've brought a lot of knowledge to this conversation, but let's end the conversation with a little bit more advice, even though you've given us quite a bit of advice. And next conversation, we're going to go in depth on the books a little bit more than we did today. Today was
Okay.
kind of the brief introduction.
Okay. Fine. A farewell thought. Okay.
Yes.
What I would really like, I really would like each one of you to accept the fact that you are given another day, the miracle of waking up and being able to see, hear, taste, touch, speak, share, embrace, love, to accept every day as a gift. If you do that, you might start waking up every day with a smile instead of a, oh my God, attitude. It really is a gift. Every day is a gift. Look and look forward to it. Look forward to all your tomorrows. Okay?
Yeah. I think that was a good farewell, and we can
Okay.
leave it there. I do hope people go and look at the books, but I do hope they go to the website. And Jim, as we end, could you give them all the information of where they can find more about you, the books, the website, everything you want to give to the people listening and watching this conversation today?
Oh, thank you, Rob.
Sure.
My website is very easy to find. It's James, James, initial B like boy, Flaherty, Flaherty.com. And that tells you more about me than you would probably ever want to know. It will also introduce you to all four of my books. And soon you'll hear about loving longevity, because I'm going to do a lot of things with that book. That may even turn into a regular, not a TV program, but some kind of virtual online program that you can invite your grandparents or your parents if your parents are starting to think old. You can play a role in your parents' life. You could say, I don't like what you're doing, Mom. I know you're only 64, but guess what? It's not pleasing me. I think you're retreating too much and you're not reaching out and you don't have enough friends and you don't have enough contacts. And that's what loneliness is, more deadly than cigarettes. Okay?
Right.
Okay.
No, you're absolutely correct there, Jim. And I do hope people enjoyed our conversation today. Again, this will not be the last conversation we
Oh,
have with Jim. And we're going to have him on quite a few times to talk about the books and everything else that's going on in his life, because he has done many things that obviously everybody can learn from that's listening to our conversation today. So, Jim, thanks so much. And I look forward to our next conversation in a month or so.
this this was terrific. I feel like we've just been out having a drink or two, even though I don't drink. But
Listen, I don't drink either, but we'll say it was a good lunch. Good
good.
lunch.
Thank you, friend.
All
Thanks,
right,
Rob.
Jim. We'll speak
Good night to
soon.
you.
Thanks
Good
so
night, friends.
much.